And we are live today with a very, very special. I hear myself. You need to turn off this thing that's going on in the background. You're watching me on some other system. There's echo. Marcel,
Yes, I'm here.
you need to mute yourself because there's a lot of echo. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. Now, still there's echo, echo, echo. You have something that's going on other than this
No, nothing.
computer that you're working on, no? Maybe reduce the volume.
Okay, we can do that.
Reduce the volume on the computer. Yes, Marcus is coming for our help. Thank you. Yeah, much better. Okay, so we have today a very, very special Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and YouTube Live because we have the whole Cohen family, the beautiful, unbelievable, amazing children. I love you so much. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good. I didn't see you for a while. I didn't hug you for a while, and I didn't kiss you for a while. And maybe you like it. I don't like it. I like kissing you all the time. So how are you doing with the corona?
It's okay. Just want to go out now.
Yep. So how did you take it? How did it affect you?
Well, we can't go out anymore, so we can't see our friends. We can't see a lot of our family, and we're obviously not going to school. So school's a little bit harder because we have to learn everything by ourselves, and we don't have teachers to help us as much.
I see. So it's really interesting that always adults says to kids, go to school, go to school, go to school. And now they say, don't go to school, don't go to school. Weird, no? These adults are weird.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, and what do you think about it? Is it right? Is it wrong? What's your viewpoint on the handling of the government of this thing that's called Corona?
I just don't know what's gonna happen because if everyone's inside and let's say some people have it and everyone goes outside all at once when quarantine's over, then isn't everyone just gonna get it after, just slowing it down? But at one point, everyone's just gonna have it. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, so you know what's your problem? Your problem is that you're logical and you're smart. Maybe you should go to be the prime minister. I'm sure you'll do a better job. You are very right. You're very right. The first thing to know is that there's a virus, it's a pandemic. Mm-hmm. Pandemic means that many millions of people die all over the world. Mm-hmm. And the truth is that it's not what's happening right now. It's not what's happening. Yes, there are a few 100,000 people that die across the world. But if I would do a quick calculation, and let's say there is 8 billion people on the planet, okay? And I divide it to, let's say, 300 countries, okay? Mm-hmm. So we'll say, let's say 500,000 people will die, okay? And divided to 300 countries, it means that 1,600 people die per country. Mm. You close the whole universe for 1,600 people. Mm-hmm. It's understand. It is so stupid. Wow, 500,000 people die. 1 million people die. Okay, divided to 300 countries, it means that about 3,000 people per country would die in average. Mm-hmm. And you close the whole universe. Do you know how many people die from car accidents, from starvation, from mistakes of the doctors, from flu, from pneumonias, from cancer, from many things. Mm-hmm. And no one closed anything. So the problem is that we're dealing with a big lie. And the lie is that yes, there is a virus, but there's no pandemic, and definitely the handling is not to quarantine everyone, because you quarantine everyone. Okay, for how long? A month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Eventually, they will need to go out, and the whole pandemic will start again. So they say, well, no, we don't need to flatten the curve. Why flatten the curve? Supposedly, the hospitals cannot handle all the cases that will come at once. But we have seen that the hospitals are not really busy like they say that they should be. There is a big, big lie. And when you see something that does not make sense, it doesn't make light. Now, why people accept it? Because for years and years and years, people have been educated to believe the media.
Yeah.
And the media sell bad news. So, for example, they say that you should not go to school, yes? But you know that there was not one child that actually died from corona, and the percentage of children that actually got infected is almost zero. So why? Actually, the children have a job in the case of a virus like that, because the children can be part of a very important part of the crowd, the immunization of the society, because you can get sick very easily without any symptoms, and you will develop the antidotes, and you will actually help to fight it. So holding the children at home is crazy. It is totally crazy. It's actually, I would say that it's mean, because children are supposed to be free. Children are supposed to go to school, and they're supposed to not like school. They not want to be at school, not to force them not to go to school.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that the problem, the actual problem, is that there is a lie. Now, why also I know that there is a lie? Because you know, when someone lies, he cannot deal with facts. He cannot deal with facts. So the handling of someone that cannot deal with the facts is that he will attack the person that brings the facts. So if let's say if a teacher at school is doing drugs, and I will come and I will say, let me teach you about why not to use drugs in school. The teacher will not want it. Yes? She will be against me, yes? So instead of arguing with me with the facts, what she will do, she will try to dig some fact about it. And that's how she will try to handle it. Now, you will see that every person will give a different opinion to the general opinion that the government put out. Someone find some dirt about him, someone remove his videos from YouTube or Facebook, somehow he's been shot. And that tells you that there's a lie. So that's number one. That's the first thing. When people start to attack you personally, that's very good for you to know. So as a kid, your friends start to attack you personally, you need to know two things. Number one, who lies. And number two, what he attacked you on is what he's doing. So if you say you are lying, he is lying. If he says you're cheating him, he's cheating you. So when a person attacks you, what he attacks you with, what he's doing against you. Otherwise, if you don't agree with me, we will talk about the data, and I may have my viewpoint, you'll have your viewpoint, and eventually with enough data, we'll come to an agreement. But not attack you personally. When it's turning into a personal attack, you need to know that the person that attacked you has something to hide. It's really important, especially between kids. because it's good. You can have bullies and you can have people attacking. And if you don't really know that, you don't know what's the handling. And what's the handling? When someone doing that, all you have to do is to be very certain and say, someone tell you, you're lying. And you say, you know what? I actually have no doubt you are lying. 100%. You tell me, what are you lying in? And he said, what do you mean? I'm not lying. You are lying. I said, no. Just tell me, what are you lying? You don't tell him you're lying. Tell me, what are you lying about? What are you hiding from me? What did you do? And you will see that this guy will go crazy, but he will stop attacking you. You just need to open your eyes and to find where is he lying to. So when someone attacks you, personally, he is attacking you because he's doing something against you. Otherwise, he will just deal with the facts.
Mhm.
The second thing that you need to know as a kid is when someone tells you not to communicate, you will feel bad, not because something is wrong with you that you're feeling bad, but what the adults are doing is not right. To take communication, to take children and not allow them to communicate, it's actually deadly. Unfortunately, there were some bad people in history that took children and isolate them, give them everything they need, food, nutrition, shelter, everything, but didn't communicate with them. Those people, those kids, went mental and very quickly died.
Mhm.
This is an actual experiment that has been done by Nazis. Now, I'm not comparing the current government to Nazis, yes, but that's how bad it is to prevent communication, because people want to communicate. And the next thing that will happen is they will open gradually the quarantine. Why gradually and not immediately? It doesn't make any difference if it's gradually or immediately. Yes? What's the difference if you open at the beginning? You're allowed to open these shops and those shops. And what's the difference? What's the virus? No, well, I'm not going to a hairdresser. I know that I'm going to a hairdresser, but I'm not going to this place. It's nonsense. Yes, I'm not going to workers, but I'm going to accountants. It's nonsense. Yes, the virus doesn't know that. But why they're releasing the quarantine slowly? Because they made a big noise that the virus is so deadly, so problematic. If they would just tell you, okay, fine, everyone can go back to their normal life, what they will actually say is that they lied and there was nothing. You understand? So they need to make it sound like this big problem. Well, we will release everything in stages. Stage 1 will be only this, and stage 2 will be that, and stage 3 will be that, and they will say that it is very serious research. And in order to make it sound bad, but it's not really bad. So if I was a kid, I will not. What you're observing is how insane people can get. This is what you're watching. You're actually seeing the level of insanity that people can create. And they do that by convincing people to be afraid. Because like even the virus, it will kill 2 million people. It won't, because it won't. And I will explain why it will not within a second. But even if it was 2 million people, okay. So 2 million people on average divided to, let's say, we 2 million people, let's do that, 2 million people divided by 300 countries, let's say, 6,000 people per country. It's not a dent. Now, why do you think there are so many dead people in different places of the world? In some places there's not. I don't know. Do you know that in Taiwan there's only 6 people that died, and only 6. They're very close to China, And when the other the viruses hit, like the MERS, when it hit, when the MERS hit or other viruses, they were like just close to China, they got hit like really badly. So why do you think all of a sudden the virus did not decide to hit Taiwan? Why did they stop eating rice or what's that?
I don't know.
But you see that something is not that up, yeah?
Yeah.
How come that in some places the virus don't go? They don't like their food there, probably. The virus don't like the food. So what's the story there? Very interesting. Before I'll tell you what the story, I'll tell you something else. There's a document that put out by the World Health Organization, and in this document, the World Health Organization defined how to count people that die from COVID-19. If you were the head of the World Health Organization, how would you say to define if someone is dead? How would you say to know if you died from COVID-19 or from heart attack, let's say?
You do a test, no?
You do test, yes. You will not suggest that the doctor will look at the guy and will say, I think COVID-19. Yes, it will be like this. Now, what if I will tell you that the instruction of the World Health Organization says, now actually, give me a second, I will read it to you because you will not believe me. Okay, so this is an actual document from the World Health Organization. Okay, it's 11 pages. You can find it online. It says International Guidance for Certification and Classification Coding of COVID-19 as cause of death. Okay? And basically it says, look, there are two types of code when someone died from COVID-19. The one code is when the person died from COVID-19 and you did a test, like you said, and it has been proven that he died from COVID-19. Okay? And this code is code number, let me just look at, I wrote it here. There's another document from them, it's just a summary. And this one called U07.1. Okay? So this is virus identified. It is assigned to a disease diagnosis of COVID-19 confirmed by laboratory testing. Logical, like you said. Now there's another code, which is U07.2. Virus not identified. It is assigned to a clinical. Clinical means that there was no test, but the doctor look and say, I think COVID-19. I feel COVID-19. Or epidemiological disease. What does it mean? It means if the guy did not do a test, but he was in the area that some other people has been identified with COVID-19 and he died from a car accident, he died from COVID-19. Now that sounds unbelievable, yes?
Yeah.
Or laboratory confirmation is inconclusive. They've done a laboratory test, but the laboratory said we're not sure if COVID-19 or not. Or if the laboratory test is available. Now this is insanity, yes? Kids can understand that it's insanity, but adults will not be justified. But they give all kinds, it's a long document, but they give you just one or two things. It says examples, yes? A death due to COVID-19 may not be attributed to another disease. Yes, and the in parenthesis, I mean cancer, and should be counted independently of pre-existing conditions that are suspected of triggering a severe cause of COVID-19. So the cancer triggered the severe cause of COVID-19. No. The guy had cancer, he died of cancer, he also had COVID-19, and not only COVID-19, maybe either the laboratory test was not available, it was just that the doctor smelled, he became a dog, and he smelled. I think it's COVID-19. Nonsense. And that's why the numbers are so big. Also, you will see in the news, they don't tell you, look, we don't know how many cases of COVID-19 there are, because they really don't know. Because they know how many they tested, yes? But those people that they didn't test and got COVID-19, and it's gone from them, and it's 1,000, 20,000, 10,000 times more than what they tested, yes? But they don't tell you. What they tell you is 2,000 people have been identified. So what? 3,000 people today. The number of people that are identified doubled since yesterday. So what? It means nothing. It means nothing. Out of how many tests? Out of what population? And what happened with the people that actually died from actually COVID-19? And these people, what percentage it is from at least the estimation of, if we tested 10% of the society, and we find in the test that we've done, let's say we have a society of 1 million people, okay? And we tested 10%, and in the 10%, which means 100,000 people, half was found to have COVID-19. So the logical thing would say that probably we have 5 million people that have COVID-19. Make sense? But they don't do that. Because if they would do that, and then they would tell you that only 1,000 people die, it will sound crazy. And it is crazy. It is crazy. Because the numbers don't justify the actions. So obviously there's something wrong. Obviously there's something. And when you have a problem and the problem doesn't get solved like we have right now, the problem has not been solved. Yes? You know that you're trying to solve the wrong problem. What we need to solve is not COVID-19. What we need to solve is the stupidity of the media that promote it and the ignorance of people that get afraid. What is fear? Fear is an inability to perceive or unwillingness to look. And how do you know that you are in a bad condition? You're in a bad condition when you have a viewpoint and you are not willing to entertain the idea that maybe there is another view. And that's basically the problem of COVID-19 in 2 seconds. And handling is to educate people that what they say is nonsense. They tell you to put a mask. You heard about the mask. The mask is the worst thing that can happen to a person. The second person, what's the job of the breathing? To take in good air, the body use it to burn, to exchange the air, and it put out toxin. Yes, it puts on toxin. Now you put this mask and you make sure that from now on you will breathe in and out toxin. You breathe toxin in. It's like, imagine that you smoke all day long, non-stop. That's what they tell you. Put the mask on the whole day. You're going to breathe in toxin. You understand? And you know that they know that the virus is moving through surfaces also, yes? So I have the mask on, and I touch the surfaces, and then I need to move the mask, and I move the mask, and my eyes are open. So of course I get the virus, yes? But I'm touching myself, and when I'm touching myself, of course I'm getting the virus from the surface to me. And then when I need to sneeze, I take it out, and when I need to talk, I'm taking it out. And initially it was the best. There was a few days that it was very, very hot day. So the government says, okay, for the next few days there is no mask. Because the virus knows that it's uncomfortable to protect. So you can see that the stupidity is immense. And when the stupidity is immense, you know that is a lie. Is a lie. There's a big lie. And the lie is so big. You know, Hitler said that if you want to write something very, very well, make the lie so big that no one will believe it. That's what they're doing. There is a big, huge lie. And what I'm telling you is not that you need to go against the government or against the school or against anyone. I'm just telling you that you need to know that you will do what the law say, but don't agree. If you don't agree, I go to the mask, yes? So in South Africa, the law is that you can put anything. So I take a very, very, very thin scarf that have holes. And if I put it on, it's okay, because there is something around my face. Now, there's no mask that can stop a virus. The World Health Organization, actually, if you go to the website of the World Health Organization, it does not recommend masks against the virus. It says don't use masks. Unless if you are sick in COVID-19 and you have the actual manifestation of the disease, and you are in contact with someone that comes to handle you. Because masks make you sick, you will die from the mask. So on every single step, they do stupid things. So they open in Israel, they open the schools right now. The schools were closed for 60 days, yes? And before they open the schools, what they do is they TV people with suit, hazmat suit, going in and infecting the school, and a big thing, yes? Now, we know that the virus cannot survive more than 4 days, 5 days per week, yes? On the surface, yes? It cannot survive. The school were empty. There was not one person in them for 60 days. Why do you need to do all of this stuff? Just to make people afraid. Because when people see that, they don't think that they say, well, why do they do that? It's stupid. They don't say that, yes? They don't tell you that. So you see people with hazmat going on and spraying the school and actually, it's stupid because obviously there's no virus there. There was not a single person there for 60 days. So whenever you look, the stupidity is very easy to understand by children, but adults justify it. They don't actually understand it, and that's why it's so easy to children, because children understand. They can see the truth. You know the story about the naked king. You know about this story? So there was this king that he wanted to have the best suit, like the best dresses in the whole kingdom. So he went to all kinds of tailors to make a special suit for him. And a group of tailors came and said that they are the most expensive, and they're going to make him the best, most unbelievable suit from the most amazing material that no one ever seen. And they supposedly, they didn't, but they supposedly worked on it for 1 year and took measurements of this and that, and imported special linen, and imported special thread, and everything was special. But actually, they didn't do anything else. And when the day arrived, they came to the king and told him that they're dressing him, but they didn't. He was naked. And they told him that they're dressing him, and he was like, oh, it's beautiful. And they said, wow, that's so beautiful. Everyone can see that it's beautiful. And the king put a big order that everyone has to cheer for his new, unbelievable suit, and everyone knew in the whole, everyone that came to see knew that they had to check for how special it is and how beautiful it is. And anyone that will say no will be removed from Instagram and from YouTube because they have a different opinion. And the king came out, and everyone cheered and said, "What an amazing new suit you have!" But then one child look at the king and say, "Hey, the king is naked. The king is naked." That's what exactly happened. The king is naked. There's no pandemic. There is no. Just do the calculation. Number of people that die versus the number of countries, or just number of people that die versus the number of people on the planet. Or compare the number of people that die to the number the COVID-19 with the cheating of the World Health Organization versus the number of people that die per year. It's nothing. You never, ever shut the whole country, the whole world for something like that. It's not logical to stop so many people. The stress on your life, the stress on your dead life, the number of businesses that went out of business, the people don't have money, people cannot survive. So the damage is so big in relationship to what they try to avoid that it makes the solution so not good. How do you know if solution is good? You take the good versus the damage. And if the damage is much bigger than the good, the solution is stupid. I'm sorry that I'm calling it stupid, but it is stupid. I don't have a different word. I mean, I actually think that stupid is a compliment. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you as kids are actually sitting in the line of fire because you see your parents having problems or the parents of your friends, and you see that the situation do not make sense, and you think that something is wrong with you because you don't understand it. Nothing is wrong with you. There's nothing to understand. That's why you don't understand it, because there's nothing to understand. You cannot understand something that makes no sense. Like if you see someone kill someone, there's nothing to understand. It's insanity. There's no actual logic. You know, they don't kill one person, they kill a lot of people. They kill a lot of businesses, a lot of industries, a lot of people, mental health, physical health. And at the end, when they let you go out, they ask you to put so you cannot breathe. So you mustn't be worried about why you don't understand. There's nothing to understand. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Any other questions? Anything that bothers you about anything, not only about COVID?
No.
No? Okay, good. And how is it going at studying online? Is it actually working or?
Is it the online schooling?
Yeah.
It's stupid. They're not teaching anything. It's useless. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Why? Explain to me.
Because they're not teaching anything. They're just they're just throwing material at us. They're telling us to read. But they're not. It's the same thing over and over again that we've been learning, and they're not teaching us anything we need for the next year.
I see. So basically, you feel that they're trying just to get you busy, not with no purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know that in order to study, you need to have a purpose for the study. Otherwise, why should you study?
Yeah.
And when they tell you to read, what do they tell you? Like read that book or read that chapter? How does it work?
They just send us material, whatever the subject is, or they make us watch YouTube videos of the teacher talking. But
I see. So you sit, watch videos, and you fall asleep, and very quickly you go into a more interesting videos. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I would do the same because you need to have a purpose, number one. And if you don't have a purpose for studying, why should you study? I don't see why a child should study if his purpose has not been clarified with the teacher. The purpose of the teacher is to actually make sure that she finds with the child his purpose for studying. That's the first step before teaching a child anything. So if I want to teach you mathematics, let's say, so first of all, I need to sit with you and make sure that you, in your mind, have a clear realization that this thing will help you now or in the future, and that you actually want that help. Because if I want to give you a help that you don't want, it's not a help. It's actually torture. Yes, you know that lots of the parents, most parents really, really, really love their children, 99.999%. And they love them so much that when mommy is cold, she go to the child and say, put on a sweatshirt, I'm cold. Yes, because they don't ask what you want. They don't actually realize that they need your agreement. And without your agreement, without you fully understanding why should you learn that thing, actually it's a lie that you need to learn it, because you don't need to learn it unless you know why. And if you ask any adult that is not a liar, how much he actually got out of 20,000 hours of studying from the age of 6 to 18 at school, if they are not a liar, they will tell you 1%. And how much they use? 0.0001%. Not because the material is not valuable, because it was done in a protest. The child did not understand why should he learn history. Why should I learn square root? When I didn't see anyone ever using square root. So what do I need to learn it? What for? I'm a businessman. I want to be a businessman. And if my purpose is to be a businessman, I don't need to know how to do square root. But if you tell me why do I need a specific part of mathematics in order to create a better deal, now I'm interested. If you show me how I can use these numbers in order to make money, now I'm very interested. And if you show me how to use it now, not within 20 years, I'll be even more interested, regardless of my age and regardless if I'm Jewish or not, because everyone likes money. So you need to find what the kids want. And if the kids want art and he wants to be an artist, and let's say he wants to be a guitar player, you need to explain to him why he will need that subject and demonstrate to him that he actually needs it for guitar playing. And if not, why should he learn it? Let's say I want to be a guitar player, and someone tell me to go and learn, I don't know, physics. And physics will never help me with guitar playing. Never, ever, ever. No one can show me how it can help. Why should I learn it? Why should I learn if this guy left this city at this time, and this guy left this city and this time, when they will meet? I don't know when they will meet. They will send the text and they will find when they will meet. You understand? It's nonsense. You don't do that. So the first thing they don't know is that you need a purpose. And you need to know that when someone tells you to learn without a purpose, tell them, look, I'm willing to learn anything if I understand why, how it will help me, or how it will help me to help another. But just to go to school, no. It's a waste of time. So what you should do is talk to your teacher and say, look, I really want to study, but I want to study something valuable, something that will help me. Not something that I will need to learn as a parent, tell it in an exam, and then delete it. Because why? What will I do with that? It's nonsense. I need a purpose for what I'm learning. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I suggest that you'll do. Talk to your children, to your teacher. I don't know if you can or if you feel that you can, but if I was you, I will talk to my teacher and I will say, look, I really want to learn this, this, and this because that helps me. And all the rest, either you show me how it's going to help me, I don't want to learn it. I will put more time in learning what I want to learn. I want to be a businessman. I want to learn things about business. I know I'm going to be a businessman. I'm not going to be an engineer. I don't need square root. I don't need to know many things that you're teaching me. Unless you show me how it will help me, I don't want it. And just do a survey between adults and ask them, take what you've learned, what you're learning right now, and ask them if they actually know it. They won't. Most adults will not. So when they tell you, look, you need to know it, you've learned it, yes? Well, it was a long time ago. So you didn't learn it, you don't know it. So why should I know it? So you need a purpose. You have to have a purpose for what you learn. It's the first thing. Because when you want, let's say you want to learn a new game. A new game is much more complicated than doing, doing some kind of an equation. Much more complicated. Why you sit hours and hours and hours and figure out all the in and out and become genius at it? Because you have a purpose. You want to win. But if there's no purpose, what should you invest for 1 second in it? They're wasting your time. That's the truth. Don't let them tell you something else. So it's not that you're bad, that you don't want. They're useless, that they don't actually show you the purpose. Make sense?
Yeah.
So even if they force you, you need to know that you're okay. Because their job is to show you the purpose. Their job is not to make you into a parrot that repeats things until after the exam. They should teach you things that actually help you in life. And since usually most of the adults themselves are failure, they don't know that. Don't agree with it. Even if they force you, you need to know that you're okay, regardless of what they do. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good. I'm sure that some of the teachers will hate me. But if they will be honest about what happened in their schooling, they will see that it's actually true that they don't use what they've learned. And if someone will give them a purpose, they would not waste 20,000 hours sitting in a jail called a classroom. No, that's not right. It needs to be something you want to learn, and only then you will actually learn it. Otherwise, you will not learn. You need to have a purpose. And I can tell you on the side note that there is no subject that you cannot find a purpose for it. Teachers should be smart enough to help you to recognize what is that purpose. And if she cannot do that, it's probably because she don't or he cannot actually understand the subject fully. That's the truth. Because if you fully understand, I can take any subject, and show anyone why he should learn that subject, how it can help him in life, regardless of what he's going to do. But you need to get that agreement from the student. Imagine, tell your teacher, or adults or anyone. Imagine I'm going to tell you, you have to go to this seminar. What this seminar is about? About counting butterflies. So the teacher will say, why should I go to a seminar about counting butterflies? Oh, you have to. What do you mean you have to? You have to from the age of 6 until the age of 18. You have to go to seminars about counting butterflies. The teacher said, no way. Why? Because she has no purpose. It's exactly as for me, if you have to learn mathematics. If I don't have purpose, it's exactly for me like counting butterflies. Make sense?
Yeah.
What else going on this interesting online learning? Just a waste of time.
Just a waste of time. Yeah.
And how is it going when you're at school? How does it work at school? Why at school it's better?
It's a little bit better, but still a waste of time. What they give you a big presentation and they have all the words, and then they give you a paper with missing words. They talk and you write the missing words. That's all you do. That's half of the classes.
Really?
It's
Give me an example. Just give me an example.
okay, for history, because I have history this semester, my history teacher, she reads off a presentation and she gives us a paper with missing words. And as she talks, we write down the missing words. That's all for an hour. That's our history class for the day. It's useless.
What do you get out of it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely
Wow.
nothing.
Wow. Okay, that's very. My heart is going out to you guys at school for suffering, sitting there. You're very nice as children. You're very, very nice to adults, and my hat is off to you that you are willing to tolerate the adults. If I'll take an adult and get him to do that, not for 1 year, for 6 months, for a month, he will kill me.
That's right.
Imagine people coming to my seminar. You've been in my seminar, and imagine that I talk and I talk and I talk, and they're not supposed to understand, and they just need to add words in between. And when they left, they don't even need to use it or to improve their life. And they came to that seminar for no reason at all. Just they came because their father told them to come, or the children told them to come. How would they do? You think?
Not good.
Not good. You know, I've seen adults that going to this driving. If they get tickets, after they get a certain amount of tickets, they need to go to defense driving or something like that. Yes, school. Because they go without a purpose, because they have to go. The adults that actually need it cannot understand that they need it, and they're just sitting there doing other things, answering emails, daydreaming, talking to other people. But one thing for sure, they don't actually learn. Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
And they think that it's really not okay that they've been forced to be sent to learn, And but they do that for children. Unbelievable. So my message to you is, whatever they do, don't feel that something is wrong with you. You are actually perfect. What's wrong is the system, is the adults. And if you know that, you will understand them. And you will say, okay, fine, I understand. You'll smile a nice smile. And do what you need to do because they're adults and they help you at the moment. But you mustn't think that something is wrong with you. Okay? Good. What else? How is it going with friends?
It's okay. It's not too bad because we're still on the phone all the time, and we have social media to talk to each other. So it's not like I'm losing any connections with friends.
I see. But you don't go and meet each other. You don't say, "You the quarantine, I'm going to meet you." No one actually sneaking out and going to meet each other. No.
No.
You're good. You're good. Good. That's good because you need to you need to keep the law of the land, because the damage of not keeping the law is that then you need to hide, and when you need to hide, you feel that you are wrong, and when you feel that you are wrong, you cut your own power. So, whatever you do, keep the law of the land. Keep the law, and there's always ways around it to get exactly what you want, but legally. You can get anything you want in this life legally. Just need to be smart, and it's very easy. The laws has been written by adults, so it's easy to bypass them. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Any other thing for me?
No, that's it.
That's it. Good. And how is it going at home? You're
It's
very
okay.
productive. Who is cooking now?
All of us.
All of it. Who is the best cook?
Me. It's me.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And who has the most mess in his room?
You.
No.
Who has the most mess in his room?
Me.
Yes.
No.
No? Okay, good. Okay. And who has the most friends? Who is most on social media?
Me.
You? Oh, okay. Okay. That's why I don't have time to make food. Okay, good. And who is a boyfriend or girlfriend? None?
No.
No. Oh my God. Is there secret girlfriend or maybe? No? No? But I'm sure all the girls love you. No? Is that correct? True or not? Yes. You are very, very handsome, and your sisters are so beautiful. Unbelievable. Okay, good. Very nice talking to you. You're amazing. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you more.
No way. No way. I love you. I love you. I love you. Mwah. Where's Daddy?
He's over there.
He's over there. Okay, good. I love you. I love you all. Mwah, mwah.
Thank you. You did very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, good. So, Marcel, are we talking or are we done?
We can talk for a minute.
Yeah, let's
But-
talk for a minute.
Yeah.
Just I want to see your face.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it was really burning for me. Other than the casualty from the economy perspective, we managed to stop a world economy of $22 trillion. And we think it is a big deal. It is a big deal, of course, in terms of the physical universe. But when people cannot put food on the table, you are killing the family fabric between the husbands and wife, and then between the parents and then the kids. We maintained it so far in general, 1, 2, 3 months, but there are already significant casualties everywhere. How do we know? Those places where people are still working and are coming to report how is at home, then the stories are not really that great. So if we think that physical damage is big or financial damage is big, the breaking the fabric of the society in terms of the family, it is going to be even a bigger damage. And without it, how do we restart everything?
Yeah, I think that you're very right. The fabric of the family is very, very important for society. But what they do by this control mechanism is actually they destroying the spirit. When you get a person to be afraid, you destroy the spirit. When you got a person to be afraid, the moment that you start to be afraid, you stop being you. For as long as you didn't hit fear, you still have some resemblance of you somewhere there. The moment that you start being afraid, you stop being you, the spirit. So the damage is much. So there is one type of damage where a person or organization or government will come to you and say, well, you know, we are going to break your family. And they can do that in many ways. We're going to break your families, and they can do that in many ways. I've seen it done by one guy did something bad, and so the whole group disconnect from him, and the friends of the friends get disconnect, and there's a big mess. And that's definitely a suppressive thing, yes, to do, because whoever destroy the family, destroy all life, because this society is built on families. So, and I know that from the Jewish religion, I know that from Jehovah's Witnesses, I know that from different religions, that religion have this thing. They want to control you so much that if you don't do exactly what they want, they separate you from the family.
Correct.
And it's never been done. Like if you take a person, let's say a person killed someone, he can go to jail, but you don't punish his family. The only place where you will punish his family is in places like maybe North Korea or in all the communist Russia or in places like that. But when a society agreed to that, you know that this group is gone. Now, a level above that, a level worse than that, is not to separate you from your family, but to separate you from everyone. And that's where, how do you do that? You make life so everyone's so afraid that they're afraid of people. And when you go to that level, you actually destroy the spirit. Your freedom, you as a spirit, 100,000 times more important than your body. And I will kiss any person 100 times on my own determinism before I will be afraid that he will give me some kind of a disease. Because there are so many transmittable diseases, AIDS and pneumonias and flu, an endless amount of disease that can be transferred from one person to another. No one say social distancing. So while I will keep social distancing because I keep the law, I don't agree with that. I think it's suppressive. I think it is being done in order to cause people to be afraid. And when they are afraid, they can be controlled. And if you want to know if what you're doing is right or wrong, look, are you willing to win and lose with the same level of enthusiasm? Are you doing it because you're afraid or because you want to achieve something? If you don't have a target to achieve, but you just have, I'm afraid, I'm preventing that, or I'm preventing something, then go and live on the moon, or go and live in a box, or go to jail. It's very safe there, theoretically, yes, jail, not a normal jail, but jail like a box that you cannot go out from, and wonderful. Your freedom is 100 billion times more important than your immediate body. And when you don't know that, you lost everything. So anyone that tried to promote to you that you should be afraid is actually your enemy. And while you have to keep the law of the land, whatever happens, you have to keep the law of the land. I will not suggest to go against a government that is designed to help people. I will not suggest to do that. But I will definitely suggest, don't agree, just don't agree. Just say that you don't agree. And don't underestimate what the power of your decision have. You alone can change everything, your decision alone. That's what I think.
That's right. We really have indoctrinated the people with the new viewpoints that are not really helpful. And that is as a result of what we got indoctrinated with in our minds in terms of false data. And for anything to change, we have been working so hard to have people to be in better condition in terms of their minds. Now that effort has to be increased very significantly because the cleanup of the mind with this, from false data, I was going to say nonsense, I suppose it is going to be extremely hard work. How do we know that? People that they know you for decades, they are staying away from you. The moment we cannot share space and we're not comfortable with that, like there's a saying like away from your eyes, away from your heart. That physical distance that we need to build on is disappearing and has become very, very cold. And when you violate that, people are angry at you in public places. Of course, in a way, they are right because they're complying with the requirements, with the law. But on the other hand, they have given up their freedom so much that they cannot recognize that what they fell into, it is really working against them. It is not really benefiting anything. Now, sooner or later, people are going to wake up. How many of them and when, who knows? So from I see from family relations, I don't really like what I see when you meet your friends, your family members, your colleagues, and they're keeping a distance from you. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, how are we going to rectify that? How are we going to rectify that? And everybody's hanging their head on some vaccine, which is nothing is farther from the truth. It never happened, it will never happen. So when that doesn't turn out the result that they are looking for, then what are they to hang their head on?
How many people die from flu with vaccine per year?
Not
few
as
hundred
much.
thousand. No, few 100,000 still die. So the vaccine is not going to solve the problem. It's going to solve the problem maybe of the people that produce the vaccine. It's going to solve the financial problem, but it's not going to solve the actual problem. Because no one ever took a virus away from this planet. There's not one virus disappeared. Not one. Show me one virus that disappeared from this planet. No problem. Take $1 million.
Not only that it not disappeared, it is not supposed to disappear. It is there for a purpose. People need to
helps you.
We need those babies. Yes.
Exactly.
The viewpoint on the virus has to be different than what the real people have, not really to avoid it, but to learn how to live with it. And
it actually helps. It actually helps, as weird as it sounds. And if people don't understand that part of living is dying, and the insanity would be to try to not die. Because if you cannot die, you cannot improve. The purpose of dying is actually every cycle you improve, But if it was not this cycle of evolution, we would still maybe walk on 4.
Yes.
The evolution is every cycle that people die, and animals die, and plants die, is actually a good thing. So of course, we as people want to minimize it and to live for as long as possible in the best condition as possible. But if the dying will become so terrible that we will need to be in a bubble alone, because if that's true, then if that's true, forget if the handling for COVID-19 is true, is you need to social distancing, because otherwise you may die. Why don't you put yourself into a balloon with some kind of an oxygen pipe and live in a balloon and get food through some door and don't do anything, because life is dangerous? Why are you going into a car? Why are you flying in an airplane? Why are you living? So you're eating McDonald's and it's not dangerous, and you're smoking and it's not dangerous, and you're drinking and it's okay, and you take drugs. How much drugs? Cannabis and many other drugs, and it's not dangerous. But this virus is dangerous? Come on. It's remind me a very interesting story, a true story. A few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, something like that, I was doing a program in the Israeli jails, okay? And the program was for criminals and for drug addicts. And the program for the drug addicts is for people that are heavy on heroin and methamphetamines, and heavy on drugs. Like in the jail, they're heavy on drug, heavy, like junkies, yes? And part of this program had to do with taking vitamins. So when I spoke to the psychiatrist that was responsible for this program, I told him, look, we need to take vitamins, and it's a lot of vitamins. It's a lot of vitamin C, a lot of vitamin E, a lot of vitamin B, and like a lot of vitamins. And he looks at that and he says, listen, that's a lot of vitamins. It might be dangerous for them. The heroin is not dangerous. They injecting few times a day, it's not dangerous. But the vitamins might be dangerous for them because it's mega dosage of vitamin. That's what they say. It's mega dosage of vitamins, so it can be dangerous for them. Wow, how stupid can you get? How stupid can you get? How stupid can you get? To the degree that you are willing to be afraid. You are as stupid as you are afraid. When you're afraid, you're blind. And when you're blind, you act stupidly. You can be very, very clever, but stupid. You can be very, very clever in many areas of your life, but if you're afraid in some area, you instantly become stupid in that area. You need to know when you're afraid, you don't think. When you're afraid, you don't see. So obviously what you're afraid of cannot exist because you don't see.
It's interesting the comment you're making with regards to people can be clever in many areas, but they can be very stupid in some areas, especially when they are afraid. So
only when they're afraid.
Come again?
Only when they're afraid.
Yes, and this also explains that there are very educated people all around, many academics, doctors, so forth and so on. And although everybody's complying with the government, obviously, rules, requirements, so forth and so on, and some of them may be even pretending that they are wearing masks. Having said that, they are not exhibiting their academic freedom, at least some of them. I'm sure that not all of them, without any exception, are buying it. So there are some that are not buying the story, yet they are not able to exhibit their academic freedom for who knows what reasons. Some of them are obvious, some of them are not. But one thing is for sure, the other part, the rest of it, the rest of the academics, they are very clever, obviously, with all the degrees and with all the studies, but not as the fear in this particular area gets them. I just don't get that, because the fear is based on a measure of ignorance, not understanding, but they are the ones who are supposed to be understanding the subject matter. There were a couple of doctors talking about whoever knows really microbiology and what is it that they go through in emergency, so forth and so on. They do have their experiences and they voice their comments, and then they get shut down by the rest, by others. It is very, very sad to see that. Very, very sad to see that. That people with mind are falling prey.
If someone gets shut down by another, like you say your opinion and someone shut you down because they find something bad with you, this is what they do, they actually have something to hide.
No question.
And you know what's the biggest thing that I think they're hiding? You know what's the biggest thing I think they're hiding? I think that the biggest thing that people hide is that they say that they are experts. So the government said we've consulted with experts. Now, what is an expert? An expert is someone that has proven track record of bringing results. An expert guitar player have a proven record of bringing results. It's not someone that learned from books to play guitar, but he actually can play. An expert pilot is someone that actually flown an airplane and managed to take it up, down, and land, yes? Not someone that read about it, yes? Or did a computer simulation. And those people actually never handle pandemic. So they're not an expert. So if they're afraid while they're handling something that they actually know nothing about, obviously they will make a decision like someone that is afraid. Stupid decision. Look at the person and you will know if he's right or wrong by his viewpoint. I saw one of the Israeli head of the army one few years ago, never mind who, and I saw him on TV for 5-10 minutes, and I said, this guy will bring a disaster on Israel.
And he did.
Because he was afraid, because I saw the viewpoint of fears, which means he cannot actually see what's in front of him. And he led the whole army in all Israel to a totally incorrect doctrine of fighting wars that caused for Israel so many deaths and so many problems, and caused to the other side so many deaths and so many problems and so much damage that resulted in zero, nothing for anyone. 5 minutes, because a person that is afraid cannot make a correct decision. If you have a leader that says, look, it's dangerous, it's dangerous, it's dangerous, he's not a leader. A leader, what is a leader? A leader is the guy that says, okay, after me, I know what I'm doing, we're going to succeed. Don't worry. Not we have to be afraid, we're going to hide. No, we're going to attack, we're going to succeed. Yes, of course, people will die, but it's good to die for our country. It's good to die for our freedom. It's not good to hide for our freedom. What they say now, it's good to hide for our freedom. Wow. It's not good to hide for our freedom. It's good to die for our freedom. And when you don't get that, what you have is insanity, locking down a whole society.
How is it that the entire universe, the entire world, all the leaders, all the governments, all the academics, all at once they became incapacitated? How is that possible? How is that possible?
So obviously they don't make the decision, and they've been led by someone that they consider is an expert, but is not. But I think we should talk about it next time, because we are already like 1 hour and 12 minutes, and Instagram kicked us out, and soon Facebook will kick us out.
Okay, now we can really talk.
Okay, so Marcel, thank you for bringing the whole family. I really love you, and I love your amazing, beautiful, unbelievable kids. And big chapeau, big well done to you for raising such kids. It's just unbelievable. Well done, well done, well done, well done times a million.
I must admit to you publicly that when my wife and I, Carl, we observed the kids over the last 3 months, the way they are behaving and the way they're handling, you can see they're calm and cool, right? It's like nothing is happening. It is what it is. I was really so impressed. I know that it does not bring many audience or viewers when you put kids on TV, so to speak, or on the network. But I really wanted to share that with you, which you already know, obviously, that this particular aspect of our lives, our kids, we don't want them to be the casualty of this nonsense, because we are concentrating on businesses and money matters. But the more important aspect of us critically is us ourselves, our families, and our kids, which they seem to be not necessarily by design ignored, but as a casualty they are ignored. And how are we going to really resolve that? Not by keeping them in their rooms and trying to teach them who knows what online. Again, we are doing that out of necessity, but the resolving of the universe, the world's problems, is well beyond solving the economy and business problems. We need to save ourselves, and our families, the basic unit that is going to keep everything alive one day and is going to bring the new future onto us. Not without them, the way we are really handling them, let alone what is happening to us, or let alone whatever we invited onto ourselves. So pretty soon that is going to be clear that the damage is well beyond the economic aspect. That's how the kids, they came about sitting here today, just and I was as you were, proud of their presentation and demeanor, Sam. I'm very happy about that. And I told them, please share how things are with your life, with the greater good, with other people, because I'm sure that other kids and other families are really going through this. How things are going to turn out, time will tell. Time will tell.
Thank you, Marcel. Thank you for everyone that's viewing. Thank you for Swapna and Meet for helping setting it up. Thank you for Shamaya that being in the background. Thank you for Gali. And if you want to learn more, go to www.meirezra.com/yoga. I have a free webinar coming on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's free, not easy. If you're willing to look, join.
We are in full support of it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You.
Thank you.